Hey there, YouTube. Got a beautiful day going on today, and I thought we'd do a little tour of. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a tour, and it seems like things are just growing out of this world. Let's take a look. Look at this tomato. It's not huge, but it's definitely getting stocky, and that's my Manitoba tomato. Then in this hanging basket, I have my tumbler tomatoes, and I'm not sure if I think they're both a red tumbler tomato. And down here, that is my yellow, the Lemon Boy tomato that I have, and it's doing really well. And then back here, I have another Manitoba tomato. Here I have just some flowers growing. And down here, I'm just gonna take a look at what is this. This pepper I have, and it's a sweet sunset pepper. Now it's not getting as big as the rest. I actually just fertilized all my tomatoes and my peppers with the fish fertilizer. Here we have a really nice looking basil. We have another tomato. I'm thinking that this tomato is probably a Sans Marzano. Really nice looking mint. This is actually the mint and the basil are plants that I purchased. And we have another couple of tumblers. I have a yellow tumbler and a red tumbler in this basket. And down here, that's a San Marzano, which is a plum tomato, your Roma, your paste tomatoes. And then in the back, I have an assortment of my flowers. Some more tumbler tomatoes in this basket, another yellow and a red tumbler. Down here is another Lemon Boy. In the back, in this peppers, I think this is another Sweet Sunset. Let's take a look. No, this is actually the Gypsy. It's a sweet pepper as well. And then there's my lemon, Meyer lemon plant. I just threw some snapdragons into this little pot. It was some leftover snapdragons that I had, so I put them in there. And then over here, I just want to show you this cute little look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's a dianthus flower, and I started those from seed inside. Okay, we're out in the garden now, and we will continue on with our tour. It's pretty nice out here. It's like 25 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty awesome. I'm just gonna start over on this other end of the garden this time. Okay, so here we have the garlic, and we're actually starting to get the garlic scapes growing on the garlic. I have quite a few garlic scapes on here. In these little plastic clutches, I'm actually have my eggplants in the clutches. And some of them are doing okay, and some of them are not doing as great. So I'm keeping them under the clutches to give them as much heat. They do like the heat. So here we have, over on this bed, I have tomatoes. I've taken some of the cozy coats off of my tomatoes, but I'm leaving some of them on. I would like them to get a little bit bigger. These tomatoes here are the old German green tomatoes. Look at this. This is a web, and there is like a ton of baby spiders. My husband said, well, spiders are beneficial, aren't they? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And in that I have Satsuma hybrid pepper underneath this clotch. And then this one here is my cayenne pepper, and it's actually doing pretty good. I'm going to take this off, and it's definitely getting bigger. Like I say, I fertilized all my peppers and all my tomatoes with fish fertilizer. These here, they need some more time. That's my yellow pear. It's funny because some of these tomatoes have done so good, and they're just getting so big that I've taken the cozy coats off. This one here is a Tabasco pepper, and we'll see how that fares. Last year my Tabasco pepper looked absolutely great, didn't get any flowers on it, so I got no peppers. Over here I have my bush beans, and these are the tender green bush beans. And then I have my sugar snap pole peas, and they are doing really well. They're attaching themselves to the panel and growing up. Over here we've picked some of my Chinese toi choy, and some of it is actually flowering, and I'm going to let it flower and go to seed because I haven't been able to find any more Chinese toi choy seeds. So I'm going to see if I can save my own seeds. Over on this side we have our spinach, and it's ready to be started to be picked. Some of it has got that going on there, but I mean, you can pick around that easy enough and eat the rest of the leaf. That's not a big deal. Got my onion sets, and then these little guys here, that's my holy basil, the Tulsi. I've been throwing in some little plants here. That is actually a sunflower that I put in there. Over on this bed I have my annual green bunching onions, my Swiss chard. It's getting big, and I put in some zinnias. These are the California, what are these? California double zinnias that I have in behind my Swiss chard. And here is my summertime crisp head lettuce, and on beside here I ended up having to replant, and that was the Marvel's Four Seasons lettuce, and it actually is starting to come in now. I had a couple of different lettuces that I've had to replant. And then over here I have in behind, these are the pole beans, and they're definitely getting bigger. I'm going to probably have to come and thin them out again. And here are my solar yellow carrots, and in front of those are the purple haze carrots, and they're coming along really good. My beets, this is pretty much all beets. This first row is my cylinder beets. Then I have the bull's blood beets and the red ace beside that. In behind the red ace, over on this other side, is the golden Detroit beets. And I see that my cats have been in here mounding up dirt, so that's not a good sign. This row here, this is the other lettuce I had to reseed. This is the romaine lettuce, and I've reseeded it, and it is coming up now, so happy about that. Over here, this lettuce is doing so good that it's getting ready that I can start picking it, and that is my Butter Crunch lettuce that I have. So I'm going to be able to start picking that. My kale, can start picking that. Mostly it's the curly kale, but I do have some of my dinosaur, the Toscano kale as well. These carrots here are my atomic carrots, an atomic red. So I'm never grown those before, really excited about that. Under these little tent covers, so I did a little video about making up these covers to keep the cabbage moths out of it, but the pest that I have is that one. If you're wondering what happened to her, we just had her shaved because with her being a long-haired orange and white cat, she's not able to keep up with the cleaning and she's matted up really bad. So we just had her side shaved so that she wouldn't be in any pain. So anyways, don't feel too sorry for her, because these cats, before I put these bamboo stakes in on here, they were using this like a hammock, and they were laying on it and they ripped the cloth. They were climbing, trying to get in under the cloth and hide, because that's what they seem to like to do. Under this cloth I have my broccoli, the Munchkin broccoli. Over here are my dragon tongue bush beans, and they're definitely getting big. I lost my jalapeno pepper plant, so I ended up going to a nursery near Vancouver, and I picked up 3 more pepper plants. We happened to be in Vancouver, and so I picked up 3 more jalapeno pepper plants, and they're really, of course, very nice. I'm ready to start taking the cozy coats off of these tomatoes, and these tomatoes are my Aunt, who are these? I can't even, Aunt Ruby German Green, another variety that I've never grown before, and they're coming along really nice. These are my Brandywine tomatoes. This is the one I had to replace because of the hailstorm. So I took the cozy coat off of that Brandywine, which is looking very wonderful, almost ready to start tying it up to the supports so that it can keep growing up. And I've started taking out the suckers out of the elbow pockets. Right here you'll notice there's a little sucker in there, and I just pick those out when I come out here. If I notice that there's a little sucker in the elbow pocket of these, because these are an indeterminate variety, which means these, that's why I have them here, they are going to grow up this panel, and I am going to tie them up to the panel on here. So it works out quite well. Beside that, we have kohlrabi, and in front of the kohlrabi I have some more onion sets. Behind the kohlrabi, you can barely see, I have these little wisps, and that is my leeks in behind the kohlrabi. I have more onion sets in front here of my rutabagas. Behind the rutabagas, I have planted, these are my butternut squash. I have 3 plantings of butternut squash. I actually will take you back over to this other bed that had the kale, because I didn't show you what was growing in behind it. So in behind my kale, I have spaghetti squash, and that too is going to climb up these supports. I have another spaghetti squash that's just coming out through the ground, and then there's 2 more there that are going to be growing up these supports. So that's exciting. Okay, back over to here. Over here I have some more tomatoes. These are the Carnival Blend. And that one, it's getting close to having that cover taken off, the cozy coats. In front of this tomato here is my Black Beauty zucchini plants. And beside that in the middle are my Peter Pan squash. And in these cozy coats are my Amish paste tomatoes. They're getting close. Not quite ready to take the cover off yet. Soon. And then that squash there, that is my Gold Rush zucchini. And then I have a little asparagus growing in there. And I've ended up planting a few flowers in here. I've thrown some snapdragons in here as well. I had an excess of those. And in behind I have my corn. It's getting bigger. I'm probably going to have to thin that out again. I think it's 6 to 8 inches I have to thin that out to. And then over in this corner I have my Spirit pumpkin, and it's a bush style of pumpkin, not really a spreading pumpkin, which will be good for smaller areas. These little flowers here, that is my calendulas. And here are my carrots. They are getting super big. And here I see that I had a cat laying in here and has flattened some of my carrots down. I wonder who would do that. Don't act like you're sleeping. I know better. So that's Momo. She's one of the problems I have in the garden. If I didn't have the camera in my hands, I would actually take the hose and spray her, because I don't want to encourage her to think it's a good thing to be in the garden. So here I have some celery growing in beside. I have another one of these little canopies. These plants underneath this one are an assortment of my cauliflower and also my Brussels sprouts. I have had to put in some cabbage plants in there because some of my other plants that I had in there originally ended up getting beaten up by, ta-da, these guys. These tomatoes here are my new girl. They're doing absolutely wonderful. Give them about another 6 inches and I'll be tying those up. So these both are my new, no, these aren't new girl, sorry. These are my natural black cherry tomatoes. I grew these last year and they are amazing. In here I have a pepper plant. And on this side, these tomatoes, I have taken those covers off of these, the Cozy Coats, and these are my Oxheart tomatoes on that side. Okay, in this little tent, I have cabbage because I've had to replace plants, and I also have some cauliflower in here. More onion sets. I ended up growing 3 kinds of onion sets. I have a red, a yellow, and a white. And then these tomatoes are my chocolate sprinkles, and they are a cherry tomato as well. They're super cute. I can't wait for them to get going. And then this is a gypsy hybrid pepper, and I have noticed that there was something chewing on my pepper and it actually ended up being slugs. So I've been kind of coming in here and killing slugs. This other one is even worse. I don't know if you can see the holes that they have created. Rotten things. These tomatoes are the new girls. And they're still a little bit too small for me to be taking these covers off of those. Forgot to show you my little flowers I have in my little pots over here. And these here are my osteospermum. And I started these inside and I put one in that pot. And then I have some more over on this pot here. I almost forgot to show you my front flower bed. I got my plants planted in here in the very front. I have Crystal Palace, lobelia, and in between the lobelia I've put some alyssum. And then in the back there I've also planted some of those dianthus, and they're the crimson eye dianthus. And look at these roses, they're so cute. My sister gave me a couple of glad bulbs, so I've plunked those in there and they are sprouting. Here we have hollyhocks. The deer have eaten some of the leaves off of the hollyhocks, but I've got some buds coming in here. I'm just not sure which one of these it is because I planted these last year. So it could be the purple halo, it could be the Niagara. Oh, there's a crimson eye dianthus. They're so pretty. And then I have a bunch of petunias planted in here, snapdragons, the dianthus, all along. But let's go take a look down over. Look at this rose bush too, filled with roses. It's more of a wild rose bush. Let's take a look down here over on the berry side of the house. I've ended up putting up some black netting. Just gonna open up my little makeshift gate to keep the deer out. I got my other blueberry planted, so that's awesome. So now I have 2 blueberry plants again. But the birds were in here and they were eating the leaves off of my strawberry plants. But I have strawberries growing and starting to ripen on there. I see a few in here. So what I've done is I've put this black netting right there, but I'm trying to get in here to pick this strawberry. There. Okay. But I have this black netting and I've held it down with some boards. I have my bamboo stakes holding it up so that the birds can't get to the plants any more than what they have been doing. So that's good. Taking care of that. I ended up having to buy 2 more packs of it just to be able to cover all 3 rows with this netting to keep. I mean, there's no point in having strawberries if the birds are just going to come and eat all the berries off of it. You got to be able to protect the strawberries. This is my sour cherry tree, and I just want to show you. Look at, I don't know if you can see, there's all my little sour cherries. There, oh, there we go. Gonna have ourselves some sour cherries. We just gotta wait a couple more weeks and they will start ripening. Also, my little haskap bush that Jamie accidentally lopped off. I stuck it in the ground, but it might, I don't know. I'm not gonna pull it out quite yet. I have faith that it's going to come along. And then here's the other haskap as well. And it looks like, oh yeah, it's got some little buds on it. Well, that's cool. And there I have my raspberries. They're just starting to flower, so I'll be having raspberries pretty quick too. This is my elderberry bush, and I am happy to say that my other little elderberry bush is coming along. So I do not have to get a replacement elderberry bush. I would have done it. So yeah, the deer can't come in here because it's totally fenced. But I think the birds must be eating the leaves off of these, because I don't know, unless I come in out here at night with my black light, I don't see any bugs on it, so it's gotta be birds. I don't know. When I look up close to it and you look at it, I'm not seeing, I see ants, but we've never had ants strip the leaves off of the raspberry plants. That was usually the deer that did that. So I'm not sure what's going on. But the strawberries are looking good, and the berries are growing and they are ripening. So that is exciting. These little strawberries, I just see flowers on them. Oh, there's a green strawberry getting ready to ripen. There's a few green strawberries on here. They're doing okay. I'm gonna have to probably fertilize them again, and then I think that would help production a little bit more. Awesome. So we've had quite a bit of success so far. We've had our share of a little bit of I guess it would be some unsuccessful parts of it too, and that isn't because for a lack of me trying to be proactive in putting those little tents up to keep the cabbage moths out. It's getting harder to try and keep the cats out of here. They have so many different accesses into this garden area that until we get a new gate put in, and then we can restructure the fence so that they can't get in here. Just whenever we see them coming in here, we usually just shoot them with some water. So, but anyways, have a great rest of your day. It's been great sharing my garden with you, and we will talk again soon. Bye for now.